All right, today we have Shab Sabir. Let's see what we got.
Here's my biggest unpopular opinion. The prettiest girls don't get guys. Let me explain. Have you
Yeah, so we already know this is complete cope. The prettiest girls get whatever guy they want. They pretty much have an infinite supply and they can pick whichever guy pleases them at that moment and say, I want him, and that guy will probably be around. Now, they may not get a relationship out of him if they pick a certain type of guy, right? But they can definitely get whatever guy they want. So this is already a lie.
ever wondered why the prettiest girls are always single? I think for women, there are different degrees of pretty. There's like cute pretty, and then there's drop dead gorgeous pretty, like Nicole Scherzinger. If you're in the drop dead gorgeous category, chances are you're really intimidating to guys. They either think you must already have a boyfriend or that you wouldn't even look in their direction. And because they fear rejection, they wouldn't dare come and speak to you.
Okay, just to address this real quick. There is a reality about this, but the prettiest girls, right, they have the ballsiest guys that go up to them. And if you talk to girls online, they always complain about how guys are constantly approaching them. I'll be honest, this is blatant lies. The main issue is that pretty girls probably have a bunch of guys approaching them that they don't like. That I can see being true. But no guys at all, and they're always single. No girl in the modern era is always single. There's always some guy around. Even if he's just a friend, he's a placeholder essentially, right? There's always some guy around. They're never purely single. This is just quite honestly a fantasy. What I suspect on some level is that this girl, probably single right now, she probably wants some attention, and she's talking about this from the position of being a very pretty girl. At least that's what she thinks. And to be fair, yeah, she's a pretty girl. So she probably has some perspective on this. What I think the issue is that this girl doesn't have the guys she wants approaching her. I'm sure if I did a deep dive on her Instagram or TikTok, I'd probably find a massive list of guys. And if she were to expose her DMs, probably has hundreds of guys DMing her. All this is that she doesn't have the guys she wants approaching her. And it's also a little bit of look at me mixed in.
Guys love to flirt with women any chance they can get, but only with women that they think that they can easily get. Don't get me wrong, really pretty girls do get approached by guys sometimes, but typically it's guys that are way below their league and like really ugly guys because those guys don't have an ego. They don't really fear rejection because they get rejected all the time.
Okay, well, that's actually true. That's a good point. So she did say the truth there. At least she's admitting that there's tons of guys, but it goes to what I'm saying, right? Guys approach her all the time, but not the specific guy that she wants. I think it's a bit of a catch-22. This girl's pretty, so she thinks that she doesn't have to approach, but to get the guys that she wants, she has to give them some sort of signal. I think another thing she's missing here is that guys that have status, are attractive and successful, they're not going to go shotgunning approaches and get rejected. It doesn't make any sense for them to do that, especially considering the fact that most of the time, these types of guys are very good at perceiving if a girl's into them or not. If a girl's just standing there and she wants a guy to approach her, he probably won't. Keep in mind, too, that a lot of pretty girls love to bait guys into approaches only to reject them because it makes them feel good about themselves. When you're a high status guy and you're attractive, you really don't need that on your resume, if I'm being honest. Girls will legitimately bait a high status guy into approaching them, reject him, and then tell everybody in the world about how they rejected X figure. Why would a guy with status or fame want to deal with the politics of that situation? It really provides him nothing. I think this fact is overlooked quite a bit.
If you feel like guys never approach you, but you notice that they're always staring, you're way prettier than you think. Yeah, if you're a really pretty girl and you're wondering if you're ugly because you never get approached by guys, just know that it's because they're probably scared of you.
It's not that guys are scared of a girl. I think a lot of them are just scared of the ramifications of approaching a girl and getting blasted. I think that's the main issue. To be fair, this view might be a little bit controversial to a lot of people, but I'm not a huge believer in just blitz approaching women. It makes sense if you're a young guy and you want to do a bunch of cold approaches just to get your feet wet. You don't matter that much yet and no one's going to remember you. Once you start climbing in level and let's say you get a bit of status, it's not as simple as it used to be. You don't create this premium image for yourself when you're out there just blitz approaching every girl that you find minorly attractive. A lot of guys will say that you shouldn't care, and sure, you can go with that approach too, but I do think that you do have to consider the opposite optics a little bit after a certain point. For most of you guys watching this video, it's not going to matter. Go out there, blitz approach, because you have nothing to lose. The guys that this girl wants are very unlikely to ever approach her because they don't need to. Some girl that's on her level of attraction will likely enter into the guy's orbit without them having to approach anyways. So what's the point of him putting himself out there and risking rejection when he genuinely doesn't need to? Unless, of course, you make the argument that this girl is so much better looking than any other girl that that guy has access to. And obviously we know that's just not the case. If you like this video, like and subscribe. To see more of my private content, don't forget to check the link in the description below.